Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah.
He answered and said unto them, When it is evening, ye say, It will be fair weather, for the sky is red. And in the morning, It will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. O ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky, but can ye not discern the signs of the times? A wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given unto it, but the sign of the prophet Jonas. Surely the Lord God will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants the prophet.
Kicks off, human beings turn into chimpanzees at the bit. It's the reality of it, okay? So do not be fooled into thinking that you are safe from this, all right? This isn't to scare you. This is to prepare you, all right? Right, so once that event's exploded in a singular location, right, you're going to see what? Riots and protests break out, especially in urban areas all over the country, right? And you might see this tinderbox event, boom, starts to flare up, and the whole country is enveloped, all right? That's one scenario, okay? The other scenario that I foresee is terrorist attacks. And by that, I mean set up terrorist attacks, right? So I think a very likely scenario of something happening is something like a black church in the South is going to be hit with a truck bomb. Hundreds or thousands of people are going to be killed. They'll blame it on a far-right extremist Trump supporter. The left will come out in massive protests. The right's going to be pissed off. Come out, counter-protest, protest hits. Boom, that can set the ignite off, right? That's how it's going to look, I think. And it's the most likely way it's going to look. These things happen with sort of an atomic bomb. A singular atom splits and it explodes from there. All right, so let's be very clear. The last thing any of you want is civil war. I hear people talking about this all the time. Oh, civil war and this and that. And guys, war is ugly. I've done it myself. None of you want it. None of you are ready for it. At the end of the day, it's not cool. It's not going to be like the movies in Hollywood, okay? And to the right, who I always hear say, oh, you know, one side has all the guns and the other side can't figure out which bathroom to use. Okay, true. However, that's not how civil wars work, right? When a real civil war or collapse happens in America, it is not going to just be right versus left. Why? Because after probably about the first 72 hours, okay, all the foreign nations, sleeper cells, which are here, okay, China, Russia, Iran, all of them are going to get activated, and those foreign countries are going to come and be involved as well, okay? And which side, I know the right's super confident, which side do you think China is going to jump in on? Which side do you think Russia is going to jump in on? They're going to jump in on the side of the socialists and the communists, right? Why? Because they know they'll be able to collapse the country, and the best thing that could happen in the world for these countries is for America to completely collapse, okay? So do not think, as a right-wing conservative, you are going to have the advantage in an actual civil war. It is not going to just be like the first Civil War, okay? Understand that. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be complicated. It's going to be chaos. If it gets to that point, it's bad news, guys. You do not want to...
Colonizer doesn't like being colonized. All right, and it's being done by your own people. They want this order ab Kale. All right, but this is Micah 2. And 1, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. They covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away, so that they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. And that's exactly what they did to the natives as they took America, as they took Australia, as they took Israel, as they took the portions of Asia that they now call Europe. Facts. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, or thus saith Yahweh, behold, against this family do I devise evil, from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall ye go haughtily, for the time is evil. And so now Esau Edom is feeling the sting of that evil that the Lord has devised upon this cursed people, because they are the people of his curse. All right. The curse that was put upon us was temporary, but theirs is to their destruction, to their utter end. All right. the Wadi Yahweh, we're at the end of our punishment and they're at the beginning of theirs. So let's go back to the video. And I'm going to jump to about the 19th minute. Yeah, let it play from there. So here we go.
New elements today. I want to talk about timelines. So today is September 9th. 1, 2, 3, 4. So literally 4 weeks from today is October 7th. And that's a Monday. Be very careful what you plan to do on that day. Personally, out of a sense of caution, depending on where you are, I would not want to be on any roads. I wouldn't want to be in an airport. I wouldn't want to be in a port, a seaport, or any kind of infrastructure, because October 7th, of course, is the anniversary of the Hamas attack on Israel, which we now know consisted of Israel with its helicopter gunships murdering hundreds of its own citizens, for God's sake, as well as Hamas murdering hundreds and taking hundreds captive. And of course, you know what has happened since then, the mass bombing campaign by Israel against Gaza, the mass killing of civilians there beyond just Hamas, and the ongoing war there. That has only heightened tensions in the Middle East, given that the United States continues to provide weapons to Israel. Now, regardless of what you think about Israel and its, quote, right to self-defense or whatever, if you think it's doing God's work or if you think it's doing Satan's work, that's beside the point in the context here, which is that the people in the Middle East, the Arabs,
Western Asia,
they believe that Israel is Satan. And they believe, like you hear this out of Iran's leadership, they call the United States the Great Satan for providing weapons and, U.S. naval support and so on to Israel. So in the last year, or over the last year, there have been an unknown number, thousands easily, of Middle Eastern, well, we would call them terrorists in the U.S.,
Asia,
who have come to the United States. They have crossed the border illegally, and they specifically have the intention of causing mass chaos in the United States. They have the intention. In fact, there was just an arrest of, I think it was a Pakistani national who was planning, at least according to the sources, planning some sort of massive domestic terrorism attack, something to rival 9/11 apparently. At least that's what I read, but it's hard to know what to trust, in the corporate media these days. But overall, there's no question that because of U.S. support for Israel and what Israel has done to Gaza and in the West Bank, and attacking Hezbollah in Lebanon and assassinating Iranian officials in Tehran and also in Damascus too, by the way. Because of that, many, many people in the Middle East hate the United States. The fact that we have a wide open border because the Democrats have demanded it to be kept wide open because they want, millions of illegals to come into the U.S. to be given voting rights so they can cheat and rig the election. But at the same time, these terrorists have been marching right through, right across the open border with their explosive vests, their suicide vests, with their dirty bomb radioactive material. They've been marching right across the border with their full auto rifles, and they are coordinating with pre-staged storage locations in America that have been outfitted with wartime equipment, including night vision, ballistic vests, military mortars, and what else? Oh, full auto drop-in Sears for AK-47s and AR-15s. Illegal suppressors. And the way we know this, by the way, well, a couple ways. Number one, Customs and Border Protection put out press releases over the last several years announcing their seizure of some of these items interdicted as they were being shipped in from China. Now, of course, you know that interdiction only has a partial success rate. So if they say, well, we interdicted 10 shipments, then probably 100 shipments came in. I mean, I'm just estimating. Maybe they interdicted 10%. Or maybe they interdicted 20%, possibly. But even if that's the case, then, you know, there's 5 times more of these shipments that they did not interdict. And those 5 shipments went into storage facilities, which are distributed across America at strategic locations, which just happened to coincide, what are the odds, with where Homeland Security has been placing illegal immigrants.
So this is an inside job.
These illegals, the ones that are military-age males, they are awaiting activation orders, and they will be texted. You notice they're given phones in many cases. They are given phones so that the coordinators, who are the traders inside the government, they know the phone numbers of all the illegals. They will text them onto their phones specific instructions and where to go to pick up their rifles, to pick up their body armor, pick up their night vision, pick up the...
So let's pause it. So that's either going to happen on or before or shortly after this election. Either way, there isn't a lot of time left.
Pick up whatever, the RPGs, whatever has been stashed, it will be picked up by these illegal invaders, and they will be given targets. The targets will be texted to them on the phones by traders inside the federal government. Again, Homeland Security, okay? They built the invasion camps. They have teams that are going to...
It is beyond obvious at this point that this breach of the borders and many...